Okay, you're live. Okay, I don't like recording at this time of the day because of all the glare, and I'm not really in the mood to wear the hat because it's warm, but and it's not a cattleman crown anyway. It's pinch front, so it doesn't look like a cowboy hat enough for some viewers maybe. Usually I was doing the Sunday morning boot review kind of weekly, but I don't have that many boots coming in like new. I do have the ones that I just ordered that all arrived at the same time, miraculously, although one pair I think was supposed to come yesterday and didn't. And I don't know if that was this one or not, and I wish it was, because then I could have wore it this morning and been able to tell you about the fit. But this is a real unboxing. I haven't opened the box. I was debating buying Laredo boots from this catalog at a discounted price or whatever. They're less 12-inch. I don't know. They're all around $160 in this book, but some of them look kind of squishy. Like, I don't know if they are a full leather shaft or not, or if they're synthetic like that other pair that I already have. Last week I did a whole rundown on boots overview stuff. For those of you who didn't see it, you can watch that, where I compared a whole bunch of different boots. Obviously, I'm not going to trot them all out now, but my sort of gold standard-ish to compare everything with that was boots that I had owned from previously was the Tony Llama, and then the ones that I had gotten more recently was the Thursday. I did 2 videos of the Maverick in 2 different colors. So I really wanted to have the thumbnail be this. So hopefully in the select a thumbnail menu, I'll be able to get a thumbnail I like without having to mess around with it too much, or I might have to do a photo later because I didn't bother. Except I showed those other 2 boxes first, so that might have messed everything up. We'll see how it goes. But so again, the Tony Llamas, they're a decent thickness and whatnot, and the full leather and all that, and a leather outsole. The Thursday boots being a little less rigid of stiffness of the leather. I'll go into these probably a little bit more when I compare them to the Justin boots tomorrow. So I know I'm kind of not getting straight to the unboxing immediately, but this won't be a super long video. And of course, if you're already bored, you can skip ahead. Do I get to the other boots? So the Thursday boots, again, this is the pair that I didn't wear yet. I wore the other color. But what we had was a little bit more of a flexible shaft, about the same, or maybe a little bit, I don't know about thinner. I don't know. There's not really adequate words to explain all the sensations, but they're in between a work leather and a dress leather, but I think most people would use them more as dress boots than try to use them as work boots. And I thought that the Tony Llamas came the closest to boots that you could work in and feel, or feel might be snake proof-ish. That might all be just based on, empirical rather than any, concrete evidence, scientific method or whatever. But as you can see, not a lot of fancy detail. There is some stitching, you know, and whatnot, but not really contrast stitching and all that. Kind of a generic brown. And that was kind of why I ordered them. I think this was the pair that was on sale. I don't remember. So anyway, okay, so back to the guy. So this is the men's 13 brown. I guess that's the number. I don't know. Sanded NEELEY R, whatever R stands for. I don't know. Regular. I don't know. And a D width. And that, I don't know what other widths, how many widths they offer. Let me do it this way. I'm not fumbling around so much with empty boxes and junk. Okay, so right off the bat, we have a sticker in here with features. Soft strike comfort system with fast rebounding closed cell PU insert, so polyurethane. Features 1, fast rebounding closed cell PU insert, the same thing it just said up there. Removable and washable, yay. Antifungal and antimicrobial properties. 2, moisture wicking, high-tech nylon dry knit insole cover, so we're already not dealing with leather like, you know, you might expect from a more custom boot. 3, cooling air channels. Oh, and these do not have a leather outsole for sure. And I knew that when I ordered them. There was 2 different pairs models that I was looking at, and I had added both of them to the cart just to save time, and they were the same price, I think. And then when I went back and looked at like which one was going to be the redundant one and I deleted the one that had the black outsole, but it's the same outsole, just in a different color. And it was more of a generic brown, same as the Thursday one I just showed you, the one I deleted, I think. So it was kind of like, well, I already have a boot that looks basically like that, so I can always get that again later if I ever wear out the Thursday boot. Okay. But I don't know anything about their sizing. I ordered true to my Brannock, which maybe the Tony Llamas in a size 8 will fit me, because it seems like a lot of these boots run small. Spoiler alert, right? I don't know how these are going to fit, because again, I just opened the box. But 4, I said cooling air channels. 4, rebounding closed cell PU pillows at 4-part and heel to prevent foot fatigue. 5, perforated for added airflow. 6, cushioning EVA layer, which I don't know what that stands for. 7, hinged insole for flexibility. 8, shank stabilizer for extra support. And then there's all the little corresponding numbers that go to each thing. EVA, is that the environmental something agency? I don't know. I'm joking. Soft strike comfort system. So anyway, the whole point of this is comfort. And with the not leather outsole, you won't want to take them on the dance floor. But again, I think I would have not minded if I had been able to take them for a walk this morning. Okay, so here we have the right boot. And that doesn't look too tiny compared to some. So, okay. And so we've got this, assume embossed texture or whatever, and we have this bit of detail up the shaft, kind of similar to the Tony Llama, but different from the Thursday in that it's more of a contrast stitch, right? And then we have a correct amount of toe buggage, I guess, for what we're looking at. But then here where the outsole. Oh, and the other thing is I didn't want any square toe boots. I can go to any boot barn and find a million pairs of square toed boots, but there was only a few. That's why I said 2 models that I was deciding between, because those were the 2 that I noticed in this price range that did have the round toe instead of the square toe. And but then like I said, this more walking outsole than a traditional. And the welt looks like it is legit. So resoling this should not be too much of a challenge. I don't know if this is a real leather stack here. Probably not. At this price, I doubt it. And definitely it's some kind of, the whole midsole is plastic or something. There's no leather. There's no leather going on here at all. You can see the way it moves. And this bit, well, maybe this is the midsole. This bit could be leather, I guess. That part maybe, this little part where the welt goes through, but the rest of this, I doubt it. This is a different color and a little bit different feel, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. And this, I don't know what that's all supposed to be. Then let's read the little card. Rose Anvil had said that pretty much everybody has Justin or Dan Post boots, most likely, in their collection. I've never had either brand. That's part of why I ordered these, just to check them out. Because if this is, you know, the runner-up or whatever to the giant other conglomerate, then okay, we'll see how they fit and feel and whatnot. And I did order true to my brand neck, so if they're too small, I'm about to let you know how I feel about that. All right. Warning, this, can't read this. Product can expose you to chemicals, including lead, which is, well, it's tiny. I can barely read it with all the glare from the light. State of California says this boot might give me cancer, basically. Okay. Features. This is all the same features that was in the sticker on the top of the box. Okay, so we don't need to read all of that. Okay. Let's get straight to the interior of the thing. And there's some paper in the box and a doodle-doo. I'm kind of reluctant to do too much walking around in them and such in case I have to take them back. Although, like I said, they do look a little bit less the wrong size than some other boots. There's a, you can see, you're not going to be able to see it because of the shadow. There's a bit of a white cloth lining bit that's coming up to about here in this vamp area, and then the rest is lined with pig skin or calf skin or something. And then there's kind of a sticker. We're gonna be able to see it. You can kind of see where the printed stuff is. Yes, back here. See if I can read it. Not really. Leather upper, rubber sole, made in Vietnam, in the size and width, and then something else below that. So the size and the width correspond with what I ordered, which might be completely wrong. And style, something, I can't read what style says. And then gender, okay, men's, gender, men's, style, DP, blah blah, PO number, okay. So you're not really necessarily meant to try to read that. Now the big fear I usually have when putting on a thing is not being able to get it back off. At least not unassisted. It looks, oh yeah, it's tight. I'm a little nervous. I'm kind of scared to try and get my foot through there. Yeah, that might be too small. I might have to try these on at Boot Barn when I return or exchange them rather than try and do that here now. I'm really, it's right on the verge. I don't know if you can see. I'm not wearing full pants. I'm wearing shorts and army socks, so they're not super thick socks, but they're new socks. They're not crappy, thin, worn out socks. And I'm not going to wedge my foot in there and not be able to get it back out. We'll see how that goes. So I think, Dan, post your sizing is wrong. And I think that even though they look kind of big enough, they're not. So, okay. So that's the right boot out of the way. And there's this little sticker. And that'll be all fun and good when I take them to the store and get rid of them. Okay. Whether or not I don't know, they look kind of cool. I'll do the show off survey part with backstay and the stitching and the pull tabs. And once again, we will have ourselves a, I don't know, I don't know how to grade stuff like that. Is it an F because it doesn't like fit? I mean, it might not be too short, but I think it's definitely too narrow. Yeah, I'm gonna go with too narrow for my initial assessment and see what they say at Boot Barn. Because I'm not sure if a 7.5 will be wider enough. It might be longer, which may or may not be necessary in the toe, but I think the problem we're having is going to be the width mostly. That's okay. So that's Dan Post right boot in a D-width. Otherwise, like I said, it's a pretty attractive. They have the whole thing wrapped. Okay, well, I don't know what this is for. I think this came from another boot or somebody tried them on previously, or maybe this is a bumper to keep the thing from rubbing again. The box and shipping, don't know. Anyway, it looks like somebody tried this one on before. It looks a little bit mangled, so I'm assuming that they pulled that out and didn't bother to put it back in the boot before they returned it, like I'm going to do. So whoever gets this boot after me, yeah, this is barely stuffed in the toe. So whoever gets, but inside should look exactly the same as the other one, would hope. So you got the pull tabs, you got the stitching, you got the embossing, you got the bug toe, you got the toe bug, you got the heel. You want to read it in case it says anything. Handcrafted cushion comfort. Okay. That's all fine and good. And like I said, 20 minutes longer than I thought it would be to get to the second boot finally, but doesn't matter because they don't fit, and that's all I'm going to say about it. So if you think they look cool and you don't buy them all up in my size before I get around to replacing it, then maybe I'll get a new pair. Don't know. We'll see what they say at Boot Barn when I get there sometime this week. And yeah, as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I don't know what I didn't talk about that you needed to know. Like I said, I mean, it's basically the exact same thing going on here. They're just stiff enough and just thick enough to be considered boots. But again, even with this outsole, still more of a showy fashion boot than a true work boot, maybe. I don't know. Or if you think they look nice and you don't want to mess them up, but you can't dance in that. So it might be the case where it's the worst of both worlds instead of the best of both worlds. Because why pay for nice looking boots that you're just going to ruin if they're work boots? Or why get a rubber walkie outsole with boots that you want to take dancing? You'd have to get them resold. I didn't pull out the footbeds and all that. Should I bother? I guess. Why not? While we're all here, because it's supposedly removable and washable and all that. So that's what that looks like with the perforated and the da-da-da and the bing bang bong and the ding dang do. And then if you see down in there, there's some threads. You can see some threads, loose hanging things, and you can see some nails. And that's foam with the nails going through the foam. Again, instead of any kind of leather. And there's your writing, the lettering that I was trying to read earlier. And there, oh, now you can see it. You can see that white fabric coming up from the under the vamp. So whatever that is going on. And put the insole back. More work. So yeah, a little bit disappointed on the sizing. Not sure if they will have my size in stock in the store. I doubt it in this model. So I don't know what they're going to recommend. If I'm going to reorder a different size, what size that would potentially be. If I want to try a wider width or just the next size up. Because I don't know exactly how that works, but again, definitely I think a width issue primarily. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to shut up now, and I don't know if I'll do the other video tomorrow or not because I don't know how this algorithm thing works. Usually I just put all the videos out and I figure you'll find them when you find them, whoever you are that actually cares about these things. And of course, nobody really watches my cowboy boot videos that much compared to my Thursday boot videos. So I don't know if it even matters. We'll see.